Hi everyone, my name is Megan. Wow. Okay. I really didn't want to edit this video. I love film and I majored in that in college, but I really just don't feel like editing it. So sorry about that. Super abrupt and startling. My name is Megan. I'm 23 years old, and today I'm going to be just making a rambly video about my journey on low dose tea. Testosterone is this crazy thing that people think is very complicated, and there's just a lot of stigma around being on hormones. But what I'm here to tell you and remind you of, not just of my journey, but just the fact that you can feel however you want to feel deep down inside. And a big part of that is just accepting and being proud that you're even exploring these options of going on hormones. I think that a lot of people think that they either have to not be on hormones at all or be on full-blown hormones, full dose, everything, get top surgery, change your name, everything to be valid, which is totally not true. And I just want to be another voice to remind people that you can really be whoever you want to be. So just remember that. That's like my little sprinkle of trying to be inspirational for a second. But now I'm going to try to be informative to help anybody out there who is looking to be on testosterone, or specifically low dose testosterone. If you're non-binary, genderqueer, gender fluid, whatever, chill in the middle, no label, anything, whatever it is, you're looking to be on T. There are luckily a lot of videos on YouTube talking about being on testosterone, which is really nice. There weren't like a lot of videos though talking about being on a lower dose than normal. So that's why I'm here to talk to you guys about that. Basically, I decided I wanted to be on low dose testosterone a little over a year ago. I was kind of in a little bit of denial about it because I'm not very dysphoric about my name. Sorry, there's so much background noise. This is like the worst time for me to film. Oh my gosh. Wild. From now on, I may edit my videos. We'll have to see. I don't know. But anyways, okay, what was I talking about? I was talking about testosterone. Okay, cool. So I was kind of in a little bit of denial about just going on hormones because I wasn't very dysphoric about my name, Megan, which is like classically very feminine. I was totally fine being called Megan or Meg. I was like kind of okay about my breasts, but at the same time not. Either way though, I didn't feel like I wanted to grow a full-on beard and change my name and all this stuff. And so because of that, I kind of felt like, oh, like I'm just weird. I'm just weird and I don't belong in any sort of transgender category. You know, I'm just weird. But after a lot of research and acceptance for myself, I realized that it's okay. You know, it's okay to not fit into these certain categories. So I was with a primary care physician for my whole life. It's like a family doctor. He was never very educated, like very old school. And once I decided to go on testosterone, I was like, I need to get somebody who knows what they're talking about, who specializes in transgender care, who specializes in hormones, gender, everything. And so I did my research, and I found a doctor who is basically the head of a transgender care program at one of the major hospitals where I live. And I reached out to them. It was kind of like a little bit of a difficult process just because nothing's ever easy with health insurance. I'm lucky enough and privileged enough to still be under my mom's insurance. So we were able to kind of find a doctor that was still covered by that insurance and got everything transferred over. And I basically, on my very first appointment with this doctor, I told her that I want to go on hormones, and she kind of helped me through that process, talking about a lot of things that I had already heard on YouTube and from other people's journeys. But it was just nice to hear it from like a doctor who was there to see me and to talk to me about what I wanted, which was really cool. So the first thing is to really make sure that you're comfortable talking to your doctor. Don't feel like you're stuck with this one doctor who is uneducated or ignorant or whatever it is. There are other options and there are other places that are safe for you to talk about going on hormones, talk about going on testosterone. and actually help you get to that point. So basically, I told her that I kind of like to just chill in the middle. That's how I've always kind of described it to people. And so she suggested that I go on testosterone gel versus injections. With injections, it's better when you have more of a fuller dose, or if you have some allergies or something, and you might be allergic to the gel or whatever it is. Injections are more for when you're injecting a fuller dose, because it's kind of harder to measure it, I guess, with a syringe, with a lower dose. So I have been on this testosterone gel. I say just testosterone gel because that's what it says, for a year now. And basically, I used to be on androgel, and that's like the brand name for some testosterone gels. But basically, it's a lot more expensive, and this has the exact same thing. So it's basically like buying acetaminophen somewhere that's just still acetaminophen. It's just not called Tylenol. Does that make sense? So I've been on that for a year now. I started with just one pump, and then basically she has me check my blood work every 3 months. So I see her every 3 months to get my testosterone levels checked and all my blood work checked, just to see that everything's going well, and everything's kind of in balance. And so I think it was after 3 or 6 months, I got checked for my testosterone level. And I wasn't totally at the place that I wanted to be. I think I was in like a very high testosterone range for females, but a super low testosterone range for males. And I just kind of thought, you know what, like I'm not seeing exactly all the effects that I want to see. And so I might as well just up the dose a little more. So I've been on 2 pumps of this gel. That's a little pumper. I've been on 2 pumps of this for, I'd say, about half a year. And so the normal dose, she says, is about 3 pumps. So if somebody wants to really get the full effects as strong as possible, it's going to be about 3 or 4 pumps. So it affects everybody differently. And I'm sure if you've kind of looked around the internet and YouTube for other videos about testosterone, the one thing that people say throughout all those videos is that you can't pick and choose what effects you get from testosterone. And so now I'm going to talk about kind of what changes I've seen over the past year. The first thing I'll talk about is my voice. My voice has definitely deepened, but it hasn't deepened too much. So the way that I explain it to people is that if you haven't seen me in a while, like a family member hasn't seen me in the past like 6 months, they'll notice that my voice is a little deeper. Friends who I talk to on the phone, who I don't see in person every day, really notice that my voice has gotten deeper. The other major thing is that my voice cracks a lot now. It'll just crack randomly, but it's just, you sound like a boy going through puberty, which is basically what you're doing. But yeah, my voice cracks. So that's that. My face in general has just gotten a little tougher. It's not as soft. I don't really know how to describe that, but basically before you're on testosterone, like your face is just like, I don't know how to explain this. This is why I should organize this better. You just look like tougher. I don't know. Things are more defined, and your face just isn't as soft looking. Like, not literally. I mean, I think your skin does get a little rougher, but like, I don't mean literally like soft to the touch. I mean, like, you just look soft. I don't know. Bad way to describe it. Hopefully you understand that a little bit. But that my face has definitely changed a little bit, but not too much. That was like a huge worry for my mom, who, bless her heart, is like very accepting of me. But it was definitely hard for her at first, and it was like something for her to get used to. And she was really worried that like my face was really going to change. I guess a good way to describe it is like when people say you have a baby face, sort of like that soft kind of look. That is sort of the change that you get. So things are a little more defined. My jawline is definitely a little more defined than it used to be. Everything is just a little more defined. So that's the best way I can describe that. My hairline has been fine, but at the same time, hair loss or hair thinning does not run in my family at all, especially on my dad's side or my dad in general, like doesn't have any hair loss or receding hairline. So I haven't gotten any of those effects. In terms of like hair growth all over, I definitely have hairier legs. Hair has come in a little bit more on my arms than normal, but I'm just in general not like a very hairy person. So I haven't seen too much of a shift with that. I've just noticed definitely my legs though, the hair is definitely thicker. The other thing is my appetite has really increased like crazy. Even when I was on 1 pump of testosterone, my appetite was going crazy, like off the wall. Like I could eat like 5 meals a day, kind of crazy. And so my metabolism is just going a lot faster. I'm pooping a lot more. Sorry, TMI. But that's just how it works. So my appetite is really increased. Another thing I've noticed is that I crave more salty foods versus sugary or sweet foods. I used to really have a sweet tooth, and now I really just like crave salty, and I really don't eat many sweets. Like even when cake is served to me or something like ice cream, I eat the ice cream, so like I still have a little bit of it, but I just don't crave ice cream and cake the way that I used to. So that's a big thing that I've noticed. In terms of your mood, you're gonna just be moody. It's puberty basically again. You're gonna be moody, most likely, but it's different for everybody. So all the stuff that I'm saying is just, it's different for everybody. You just kind of have to see how it goes for you. But don't be scared, you know, like even though you can't pick and choose what happens, it's okay. Like you'll figure it out. Like the moodiness, I figured out. There were a lot of trial and errors, and I was a little more aggressive at first. I still am. Like I react a little more aggressively to certain things. Kind of like, oh yeah, like I want to fight. You know, obviously that's not a good way to handle emotions. But one thing that has really helped me is that I've consistently been going to therapy once a week to once every other week for the past 2 years. And that has really helped. So I'd really recommend, if you can, to seek out some counseling resources and go to therapy while you're doing this, because it just helps to talk to somebody who doesn't know you personally but is totally there to listen to you and kind of help you out. And I'm just a big advocate for therapy. So if you want to know more about therapy, let me know and I can talk more about that. But that's a big thing that's really helped me with my mood. With your testosterone being higher, your sex drive is higher as well. That's something that you kind of have to figure out. But after about, I would say about 7 months being on testosterone, it really just like went back down to where it normally was for me prior to being on T. At first it was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I was like, what is happening to me? But again, it's like you're a teenage boy going through puberty. That's just how it is. And you kind of learn how to deal with that and figure that out, you know, and you'll figure it out yourself. Like, don't worry about it. It sometimes will seem like this is crazy. What is happening to me? I feel like I'm going through this alone. Nobody understands. You're going to feel alone sometimes because, especially if you have a lot of peers or friends or family who are just cis and don't know much about being trans or non-binary or however you identify, or if they just don't know much about being on hormones, it can feel very isolating. But just know that you're not going through it alone. There are a lot of resources to help you, and you'll figure it out. Like things will settle down a little more. And you always know that it's not the right path for you if you're deep down feeling like you're not in balance. Because the whole point of this is to make you feel more you, right? So if you're not feeling that way, then it's okay. It's okay to backtrack back to before, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you failed yourself or whatever, your doctor, whoever it is. Like, just be who you want to be and know that you can figure out what's most comfortable for you. So just remember that. That's my more inspiration. So yeah, my mood, what else? Muscle mass, muscle increase. I don't really know how to explain that. But basically, I used to lift weights and work out just at home. I have so much social anxiety that I can't even get myself to go to a gym. So I just have weights at home and doing push-ups. I never really gained muscle that was visible, at least. And since being on testosterone, I've really been able to build up a good amount of muscle up here, my stomach and my legs and stuff. I just feel stronger in general, and I have more energy to work out. And it's nice when you see a difference. That's what's great, is like I'm eating a lot and working out and I can see the difference, and that's awesome. Obviously, not everybody wants to go for that certain lifestyle, a certain look, whatever it is, and that's totally okay. It's not like you're gonna bulk up just being on testosterone. Like, you have to, you know, put in the work to do that. But just know that testosterone should help with that. Again, could be a longer process for others, could be a shorter process for others to kind of see a difference in terms of your muscle mass and how much muscle you have. But I can definitely talk about like what I do for workouts if that's something that people want to know. I don't even think anybody's going to see this video. So, yeah. So yeah, working out has been really great because I see a difference. Honestly, those are the biggest changes that I've noticed. People talk about their Adam's apple. I haven't really noticed much happening here. My neck is really red because I'm recovering from like basically a sun allergy. Like, I had a bad reaction to the sun, basically like a sunburn, but worse. So that happened to me. But in terms of my Adam's apple, I haven't noticed much happening. Facial hair, I've always had like some peach fuzz, but it's never been too noticeable. And since being on T for a year, I haven't had to pluck anything, which is good because I haven't wanted facial hair. And who knows, like if I were to increase the dose to 3 pumps, maybe I would see facial hair, maybe I wouldn't. Again, like, hairiness doesn't run in my family. It's not like people are bald, but like, it's just like people in my family don't have a receding hairline, don't really have like hair issues, don't have a lot of like hairy chest or anything. So I don't think that's really in my genes. But it might be in yours. You know what I mean? It just, you never know. So that's kind of all I have to say about my journey, being on low dose testosterone. Just some like boring facts. The androgel that I used to be on was like about $20. So that obviously has to do with my insurance and pharmacist and everything and where I live, I think. But androgel used to run me at, I think it was 20. It might have been 10, but I'm pretty sure it was 20 or 25 even. And then after I switched to this like generic brand, which does the same thing, has the exact same ingredients and everything, this runs me at $5. So it depends where you live. Injections might be more expensive, cheaper. You just got to figure out the best option for you. But talk to your pharmacist, talk to your doctor about it, your insurance companies. It's a difficult, confusing process, but it's worth it. You know, like, you just got to get your foot in the door and just start the process of becoming more you. And just know that it's valid. Everything that you're feeling is valid. It's confusing, and there may not even be certain labels that you feel fit you and fit your identity, but that's okay. You don't have to label yourself. You know, you can identify however you want and still say that you want to be on T, and that's totally okay. So thank you for watching this rambly video. Sorry it was so long, but if you have any more questions or anything that you want me to elaborate on or anything at all, I am totally down to talk more about my journey being on testosterone. Oh, one more thing. Fat distribution. That's what I was gonna talk about. I don't know, to be honest, if my breasts have gone smaller. I just can't tell. I don't know if they have. So that's my answer to that. My hips have gone smaller though. They've definitely gone smaller, and fat is just being distributed in different places. Like my stomach, it's going to my stomach instead of like my hips and my butt and stuff. So that's been really nice. And it's definitely gone to my neck. I've noticed a huge difference in the size of my neck since going on testosterone, which has been kind of cool because my neck used to be kind of like small. So that's been kind of a cool change. So sorry I forgot to talk about that. Again, such a rambly video, but if you have any questions or anything, comment below. Thank you for watching. You are beautiful, and I will see you in the next video if I make one, if people watch this. All right, peace.